Hi, welcome to Prime Recap. A virus wipes all adult humans off the face of the earth, and now the entire world is ruled by children who must find a cure before they reach adolescence. Otherwise, all of humanity will become extinct. Today we will recap the story of the 2023 movie The Park. All over the planet, people have been suffering from a mysterious disease that attacks only the adult population. The contamination is believed to come from a biological weapon that for some reason does not cause any harm to children and pre-teens. However, when the infected youngsters reach puberty, the effects of the disease are fatal. After years of trying to contain the virus, humanity has been completely contaminated and all the adults are dead. Furthermore, all the children that have survived have an expiration date, because as soon as they reach puberty they will be exterminated. In a post-apocalyptic world, Luca is playing with his carts in the forest when he is surprised by two other children. The masked girl orders Luca to hand over his backpack, but the young man refuses and threatens her with a screwdriver. After being attacked, Ines fights back and uses her machete to strike the boy a fatal blow. Next, Bowie steals her backpack and verifies that there is no water or food inside. The pair is about to lose hope of finding supplies in that forest when they hear a distant song. Ines then uses her binoculars to spy and discovers that there is a small village nearby. Suddenly, a child appears and Bowie is excited to realize that there is water there. So the two friends plan a way to take over the village and Ines cuts off a piece of Luca's jacket to tie it around her knee, pretending to be injured. While the girl goes for help, Bowie must stay hidden in the forest, but is terrified because he knows that that territory belongs to a sinister group called the Blue Meanie. When she sees an outsider approaching, Quan threatens her with her gun, but Ines begs for some water and the young woman decides to help her. After quenching her thirst, Ines starts talking to Quan and says that she is going north because there are rumors that a cure has been created and is being distributed there. At first, Quan seems suspicious and keeps an eye on the stranger, but it doesn't take long before the young woman begins to loosen up and reveals that she gets very excited when she meets new people. Then, Ines takes advantage of this euphoria and waits for a moment of distraction from Quan to steal her gun and try to take her hostage. However, the girl does not give in to the traitor's provocations and decides to challenge her. When Ines realizes that Quan is approaching, she shoots and discovers that the gun is a toy. When she realizes that she is helpless, the girl turns away and prepares to run away. However, she accidentally steps on a nail that is in her way and faints in pain. While she is unconscious, Ines has nightmares about the time she was admitted to a hospital, before all adults became extinct. Startled by the terrible dream, she wakes up screaming and finds Quan cleaning the wound on her foot. After making a dressing, the girl goes to prepare dinner and serves a bowl of soup to her guest. As she looks around, Ines realizes that she is in an old amusement park. She asks Quan why she helped her, since Ines tried to eliminate her. Then, her new friend reveals that she has a project and needs a team to make it happen. Quan has nicknamed her project Al-Shifa, which means the cure, and Ines believes she is producing some kind of medicine against the virus. However, the young woman reveals that her project is to get the amusement park running again so that children can have fun as long as they live. Upon discovering the truth, Ines is furious, as she was beginning to hope that she wouldn't have to die. While yelling at Quan, she spots Bowie approaching from behind the girl and tries to stop her friend from attacking her. However, it is too late and Quan is hit on the head. Quickly, the girl gets up and attacks the boy. She then runs away. The fearful boy then asks if Ines is hurt and hands her the machete so she can finish the job. Immediately, the pair starts chasing Quan in the middle of the night and is drawn to one of the toys. While Bowie is distracted by the lights, the girl attacks him and Ines runs to help her friend. She is limping due to the injury on her foot, but continues her hunt until she reaches a warehouse, where there are numerous aquariums. When Ines finds the boy's mask, she realizes that it was a trap made by Quan, who attacks her violently. Hours later, she wakes up and sees Bowie pedaling incessantly in order to direct water to one of the park's toys. At this point, Quan is furious that she has been betrayed twice and decides to prove to Ines that her project is worthwhile. She then pushes the girl down a toboggan and they both slide at high speed until they fall into the lake. After they get out of the water, Ines is in a completely different mood and says that she would like to slide again. In that instant, she understands Quan's project to rebuild that park and allow the surviving children to have fun until their day comes. During puberty, young people undergo significant changes in their bodies. One of these changes takes place in the larynx, the organ responsible for emitting the voice. As teenagers grow older, their voice thickens and this structure increases in size. This is when the virus starts to act. Those who are younger end up seeing all their friends taken by the disease and witness dozens of deaths before their day comes. Although she handles it well these days, Ines was not always such an indifferent girl. The first time she took someone's life was to belong to a certain group of children and increase her chances of survival. After eliminating an innocent boy, she had a panic attack and was in shock for quite some time. So now that she can live a more peaceful and safe life, the young woman wonders what to do and manages to catch a fish while lying facing a lake. Seeing the two girls having fun together, Bowie is furious because he feels betrayed by his friend. After being carried into the living room, Ines places the fish in the aquarium and Kwan begins to imagine the day when she will have the largest aquarium in the world, which will house hundreds of species. At that moment, the girl opens a cabinet that contains the most different types of weapons, and Ines wonders why she uses a toy rifle to defend herself. Next, Kwan takes a pair of binoculars and, after observing the forest for predators, decides to remove Ines' anklets. The young woman is still afraid of being betrayed once again, but decides to give a new vote of confidence, hoping that that girl will help her build Al-Shifa. Suddenly, Ines takes the knife that is in the girl's waistband and attacks her. However, Kwan was not her target, but a snake approaching from behind her. Later, while the friends are painting one of the toys, they talk about the existence of blue meanies and Ines claims that they were invented by some squad who wanted to use fear to keep their subordinates in line. The girl claims to know this because she used to be part of a group of rebels. However, all the members were older, so she and Bowie are the only ones still alive. Upon hearing this, Kwan reveals that she would like to be part of a team, because the only person she can count on in that world is Luca, her older brother. She then tells her that the boy is a big lazy slob and instead of helping her take care of the park, he prefers to stay in the forest playing with his little cars. At this point, Ines realizes the mistake she has made, and despairs when she realizes that she has eliminated her new friend's brother. Kwan then asks if the young woman saw Luca while she was in the forest, but she claims that she never met the boy. Later, while washing her brushes, Ines thinks about what to do from now on, because she knows that sooner or later Kwan will discover the truth. So she goes to the closet where the keys are hidden and takes them all to try to open the chains that imprison Bowie. After testing each one, Ines realizes that she took the wrong keys and directs the boy to apologize to Kwan, so she will let him go. However, Bowie refuses to do this and states that he is not a liar like his friend. Upon hearing this, Ines is furious and leaves. Then the boy remembers the day he met her. He had just been beaten up by some bullies at his school when Ines approached him and helped him get back on his feet. The young woman has always been a heavyweight, and shortly after joining a teenage gang, she defied her leader and seized power. In a few minutes of leadership, she ordered Bowie to eliminate the former leader and the boy followed her orders without hesitation. After having fun in the park with Kwan, Ines goes to the kitchen to make dinner and prepares a delicious stew with the meat of the snake she captured a few hours ago. That night, during a conversation, the girl tells how, before the virus spread, she was sick and spent a lot of time in the hospital. To relieve her boredom, Ines always reads several books, and her favorite stories were those in which everyone died at the end, being devoured by the most bizarre monsters. After some time in the hospital, the girl began to wonder what she would do if something like this happened to her, so she began to study survival strategies and protocols. What Ines couldn't imagine was how useful this knowledge would be, because months later the apocalypse began and she was prepared to be one of the last survivors on the planet. The pair are working to get the power to the amusement park turned back on, and with the help of her friend, Kwan finally manages to take the first step toward realizing her dream. The teenagers celebrate this achievement and listen to Bowie singing a beautiful song. Kwan is impressed with the boy's talent and Ines says that he is also very good at playing the guitar. Before going to sleep, Kwan says that she needs to send a signal to her brother so that he can find the park again if he is lost. Bowie is the only person who knows that Ines was responsible for Luca's death and intends to get rid of him so that Kwan never finds out the truth. However, she does not have the courage to stab her companion, as she remembers that they have spent the last 2 years supporting each other to survive the end of the world. After lighting fireworks, Kwan wonders if Luca is still alive and ends up attracting the attention of a group of young people who are wandering in the forest. Feeling guilty for hiding the truth from her friend, Ines comes forward and is ready to assume what she has done. However, Kwan says she is resigned to the fact that she has lost her brother, because this is the fate of all infected young people. The girl then throws a toy car into the lake and claims that this was the first step to forgetting him. Kwan knows that this will be her fate soon, so she wants to rebuild that park. That way she will be able to leave something meaningful behind when she is gone. In an attempt to comfort her friend, Ines sits down next to her and holds her hand. As the rain falls, the two girls fall asleep together, but are awakened by Bowie, who has finally managed to free himself from the boat. The boy is about to leave and asks Ines to choose between accompanying him or staying there with Kwan. Jealous and afraid of losing his friend, Bowie attacks the girl with a screwdriver and Ines ends up getting hurt trying to separate the two. After picking up the weapon, Kwan realizes that that object belonged to Luca and goes into despair when she discovers that her best friend was the one who eliminated her brother. Furious, the young woman threatens them and orders the delinquents to leave before she returns with her rifle to eliminate them. However, while cursing the culprits for her brother's death, Kwan starts coughing and Ines realizes that she is suffering the symptoms of the disease. Desperate, the girl tries to help her, but there is nothing that can be done to save her. While Kwan is coughing up blood, Bui spots a group of hooded teenagers approaching and soon realizes that they are part of the Blue Meanies. Immediately, the boy pulls Ines and they both run away in search of somewhere to hide. However, one of the members of that group goes after them and follows the pair into the room where the aquariums are kept. The two friends try to hide, but are soon found by the boy and Bui attacks him while Ines tries to open the closet to get the gun. Just then, another girl in a blue cape appears and steals the girl's rifle. The young girl tries to show Ines something, but is attacked by Bui. Before fleeing, the boy breaks the aquarium in an attempt to delay the hunters. In the middle of the forest, he carries Ines on his back, for the girl still has an injured foot and is unable to walk long distances. After a few hours of walking, the pair finds a shelter for the night, and the next morning, Bui rummages through Kwan's backpack for food. At that moment, the boy finds the girl's diary, but decides to throw it away, because he cannot break the lock. Picking up the notebook, Ines remembers all the times she saw Kwan writing and becomes curious to know what was going on in her late friend's head. Hours later, they are still walking through the jungle when they spot the body of a young man and Ines realizes that his throat has been cut. The body was wrapped in a blue blanket, which indicates that his death was caused by one of the Blue Meanies. During a storm, the pair needs to take shelter in an abandoned house and Ines can't stop thinking about Kwan. The young woman regrets that she didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her friend and spends the night thinking about the mistakes she made. Throughout the journey in search of a cure, Bui carries her friend on her back. However, when Kwan's diary falls to the ground, Ines reaches down to take it back, but Bui decides to throw it into the ocean, because he can no longer bear to see the girl lamenting her loss. What he didn't imagine is that his friend would go into the sea to retrieve the notebook, and so he decides to go after her. However, Bui doesn't know how to swim and ends up drowning. Then, immediately, Ines leaves the diary and rushes to try to save her friend. With difficulty, she manages to drag him to the sand, but the young man is unconscious. Desperate, Ines does everything she can to save him, but Bui is not breathing. After a few minutes of cardiac massage, the boy is revived, and she feels extremely relieved. The sun is setting and the duo decides to make weapons to defend themselves. They are tired of running away and decide that now it is time to hunt down all those who plan to hurt them. For the plan to work, Bui needs to be the bait, and the next morning he uses his beautiful voice to attract the attention of the Blue Meanies. When her enemies reach the place where the trap was built, Ines cuts the rope and releases a sphere of thorns onto her enemy, who manages to dodge the attack easily. Bui must attack the boy, and Ines goes after the girl with the rifle. After disarming her, she uses the young woman as a hostage to force her friend to free Bui. Ines was about to eliminate the couple, but seeing them embracing, she decides to let them live, because she remembers Kwan. When the two friends leave to go away, the girl with pigtails goes after them and asks for a pen to be able to communicate. She then writes a message on her forearm and claims to know a way to help them cure themselves of the disease. At that moment, Ines begins to manifest the first symptoms and starts expelling blood from her mouth. Bui is desperate to see her friend about to die and decides to accept help from the Blue Meanies. While she is unconscious, Ines is reunited with her friend and asks if they are both dead. The girl is sorry for the mistakes she has made and the people she has hurt, but Kwan tries to reassure her and asks her to keep going, because she still has the chance to use her life to do good to others. Ines then asks for her friend's forgiveness and hugs her. In this way, she finally gets to say the goodbye she never had. Suddenly, the girl wakes up and realizes that she is in a hospital room. Her neck is bandaged and she feels a pain in her throat. At that moment, a young doctor approaches her bed and uses a small board to communicate with the girl. Upon reading the written message, Ines discovers that she is cured of the disease. However, her larynx had to be removed and now she is no longer able to speak. After leaving her room, the teenager discovers that she is in a refuge filled with young people who have managed to survive the effect of the virus. They all live together and contribute to the growth of the community. The group has a single goal, which is to recruit as many survivors as possible so that they too can be cured. A few days after her surgery, Ines meets Bui again and finds out that he is also free of the disease. The two friends then embrace and prepare for their next mission. A few weeks later, a lonely young woman is walking through an abandoned field when she hears the sound of a guitar. Ines and Bui are sitting in the shade of a tree when they are surprised by the girl, who threatens them with a pistol and orders them to hand over their belongings. What the girl didn't realize is that she was falling into a trap and is easily caught after trying to get the backpack. As the young woman tries to break free, Ines offers her food and opens a loophole to invite her to join the Blue Meanies. That night, the young woman is taken to the shelter and meets the rest of the group, who gather around a campfire while listening to the beautiful melody Bowie produces on his guitar. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.